Okay, boys, let's talk about the in-season tournament champion Lakers, who are 3-7 in their last 10. They are now 23rd in offense on the year. That's not a good number. But LeBron and AD have been great. I mean, the conversation with this team, we'll just say Darvin Ham is not exactly the most popular guy amongst Laker Nation right now. But I mean, obviously there's the lineup situation where Austin Reeves and D'Lo are on the bench, so LeBron is having more minutes as the lone ball handler, and you've got wings around him between Vando and Cam Reddish and Rui and Torian Prince, and then of course AD at center, and D'Lo and Reeves still get their minutes in there and all that, but the first thing the defenses are trying to do is how can we help off of Vando? You know, when he's in the dunker spot, like in their recent one against the Pelicans, Herb Jones just took that as an invitation to just stand right in front of the rim. The Celtics did a similar thing in the first quarter of their game, have Porzingis help off of Vando. Now later on in the game, they would have KP helping off of Rui, and he was missing some threes as well. In the Wolves game, you had Cat helping off of Vando for some, and like the Lakers do have counters to some of these things. Like in the Wolves game, there's a play late where Vando screens for LeBron. LeBron gets the Cat switch, and then he just goes past Cat in a line drive, dunks the ball. Or you've got like in the Celtics game where Vando screens for LeBron, gets the KP switch, then throws it to AD in the post, and because KP is switched onto LeBron, he can't really contest along the rim. So they are trying some things. And again, LeBron and AD can still do their things, but it's just difficult possession after possession. Like the amount of times you will see just so many bodies in the paint as like it's a LeBron AD pick and roll or a Reeves AD pick and roll or a D'Lo AD pick and roll, or it's just, you know, LeBron in the post or whatever. Like it just happens a lot. And it's not just Vando. I think with Cam Reddish and Vando playing a lot of minutes together, it just gives the defense a lot of guys that they don't have to worry about that much. Of course, to state the obvious, Vando and Cam give you a lot more on defense than they do on offense. And I'm imagining that Darvin Ham's thought process is like we maximize our defense and size with wings around LeBron and AD, and then those two just drag us through on offense. I don't agree with the mindset. I don't think a lot of people agree with it, but I just imagine that's how Darvin Ham is feeling. I will use this moment to say that I have liked Max Christie's activity. I do think that the way that they are using him on offense, where they're having him run like actual sets, is probably not the best use of the guy. And we'll also say that Rui is, I guess, kind of a wild card amongst all the Lakers role guys, where like he's a little better from three than Vando and Cam, not on a whole lot of attempts, but okay, it's there. He's got a little bit of like pull-up two juice off of one dribble as well. Unfortunately, Rui is now dealing with a calf strain. As for Torian, he's solid. Like, no, he's not the go lock up the opposing team's best guy or whatever type of defender, but he does his job defensively fine enough. He makes his threes, even if it can be a little streaky at times. Torian's good. Like, you know, you look at their recent one against the Bulls, where, to be nice to Cam, he did shoot 3 for 8 from outside, and Torian Prince also shot well from 3 in that game as well. The impression that I got from just how the Bulls were playing those guys, which was like packing the paint a bit, they didn't really care that those guys shot well from 3. They looked at it more so as, well, LeBron and AD are not killing us possession after possession inside, so we're going to take this as a win, even if you guys shoot okay. And I think to go along with all of this, you're also seeing just kind of basic offense from the Lakers where, like, again, look, LeBron and AD and, you know, Reeves when he's got the pull-up going and stuff, they're good enough to play through all of this. But when we're trying to optimize the offense and all that stuff, you know, like, again, they're like 23rd in offense. So what do I mean by basic stuff? I mean just a lot of sets where there's not a whole lot of creativity, but you do see these pockets of time where there are some more things, like, you know, in their OKC game, which was their best offensive performance recently, that or the Hornets game, which, you know, congrats, you beat the Hornets, where they had 37 assists, some of them being transition, some of them being like, oh, Rui made his jumpers, hooray. But it was also like, you know, Vando and AD screening for LeBron as he can get downhill, and then it's a kick to Torian Prince for a 3. And again, there's going to be swing things with the threes, but like, you know, extra screen setters is something, or LeBron AD pick and roll, throw it to Austin Reeves in the wing, then LeBron immediately screens for Austin Reeves, then it becomes like a Cam Reddish lob. Like, you do have these moments of the offense being good, but there's so many plays where it's just a grind, where LeBron is just, he's got the ball, he's looking around, what the hell do I do? The defense is ignoring like basically all of our shooters. Now I do think like putting Vando in the dunker spot, I mean, we all understand why they do that. It just does feel like it's a bit of a gamble between, okay, are we putting Vando in a spot to where he can be a threat as a scorer, or are we just giving the defense an easier time to just load up inside on us? But of course, you want Vando for his defense, and we can talk about the defense in a little bit here. But, you know, I've seen some numbers where it's like the Vando Cam lineups, their percentage of shots at the rim go down when those lineups are in there, and that's leading to the Lakers' foul rate being a little lower as well. And, I mean, that was their big thing last year as they went on their playoff run, right? It was like, well, listen, they're not going to shoot a whole lot of threes. They're not going to shoot like a 0, but it's not going to be a lot compared to like some other teams. But they're going to make up for it by getting to the line a whole lot and also being disciplined and really good on defense. Well, if their foul rate starts to slip because they can't get high-quality looks all the time, then suddenly they start fighting the math a little too much, even if LeBron and AD are still great. So, for example, like last 10 games, the Lakers are 23rd in free throws per game. I mean, this team cannot be that low in free throws. You want to know what they were last year? Number 1. And for the season overall, they're now 9th. To talk about the defense, so as they have gone to this wing-heavy thing around LeBron and AD, it's been a little more switching, or maybe a lot more switching. In their recent one against the Wolves, their switching defense was like pretty effective in my opinion, and slowing down the Wolves offense. You've got like Vando fronting Rudy in the post and stuff. Like after a switch, like yes, Ant did have that one great step back 2 over AD, which was great. And it did feel like the Lakers moved away from switching a little bit late there in the game against the Wolves, but overall, like it was pretty effective against them, I would say. And yes, that game also did feature the was his foot on the line thing with LeBron. Also potentially the meme of the year with LeBron looking at the monitor. But then, like in their last one against the Pelicans, I thought that switching defense actually didn't hit as well. So you've got like Zion switching onto Taurean Prince, and then from there he could just kind of do what he wanted. I know Zion's had a weird season, but in the Laker game he looked comfortable. You also had like, I don't know, Rui switching onto CJ on like handoff action, but he's like kind of back. He didn't like aggressively switch, so CJ's flowing into like a pull-up 3 with not much trouble. I'm not too concerned with their defense because I just look at it as they have Anthony Davis, LeBron's still awesome in help defense and all that. Now, I will say that there has been some more zone defense as well lately. There's also been just some games where they're getting torched on corner 3s. Like, should I be panicking more about the defense? I don't know. I guess there also is the case to be made that sometimes your offense can go through enough rough patches to where the opposing team is able to get out and transition a little bit more. Like, there could be a case to be made there. I think their foundation defensively is just good enough to where I'm not super duper concerned. Maybe I should be more. Yes, I think, listen, if they could have like a point of attack defender who was like really, really good there and then could also like make threes in the whole thing, then they would throw a parade. And so what do they do here? I mean, look, they definitely need some more juice on offense. The easy thing to say there is put Austin Reeves back in the starting lineup. Darvin Ham's already made just a bunch of changes this year in terms of lineups and schemes, and so making another change, even if it's probably the most popular one, we'll just see there. Now, one counter to the play Austin Reeves more stuff, which, to be clear, he's averaging 29 minutes a game. He just played 36 minutes against the Pelicans. He's not a bench warmer or anything. But, a little bit more Austin Reeves, will put it like that, put him back in the starting 5. The counter to that is, well, teams go at him on defense, right? Well, I mean, look, it's kind of pick your poison. Like, what you have right now is teams are just daring you to kill them from outside, and they're not guarding certain dudes, and LeBron and AD are good enough to play through it, but also they have to deal with it, right? Or it's you do more Austin Reeves and then teams go at him more. I mean, you just kind of got to deal with something. Now, there is also the possibility of that not being the one trick to your offense, in which case then you have other problems to deal with. And again, I do think there are like just some plays where they kind of don't do a whole lot. So that's another thing for him. We can all agree that D'Lo's last, 2 to 3 weeks have just been really weird with trade rumors and then going to the bench. And I mean, listen, you're going to get those moments where D'Lo runs a pick and roll with AD and he hits a pull up 2, or he finds AD on the roll, or he swings it to whoever on the corner. It's like, that's a good action. And also, D'Lo's inconsistent. So that's just kind of baked into the D'Angelo Russell experience, but also his spot on the team is just weird right now. I don't think they're going to get Zach LaVine, but they need something to change on offense, whether it's internal or not, I don't know. Now, I'm sure by now we've all seen the DeJounte Murray speculation. Can we put it like that online? This might be spoiling a future potential video of mine, depending on where these rumors go, but look, DeJounte was not as good on defense as Atlanta was hoping he would be. Let's just call it what it's been. With that said, every time I talk about the Hawks, I always bring up their defensive scheme where they have bigs higher up on screens, which I think they're scaling back like a little bit, but they are still trying their heavy rotation stuff, and I just don't think it's working. They're giving up a lot of corner threes, they're giving up a lot of shots at the rim. DeJounte in a different context, I think he could be better defensively. At the same time, I don't think you should expect like Alex Caruso on-ball defender in the form of DeJounte Murray. As far as his offense, you better hope that 38% on 6 threes a game is real. But again, we don't know if they're going to trade for him or if the Hawks are going to move him or whatever. So that's all I got. Their offense needs to be better. Yeah, I think it's put one of the guards back in the starting 5. We go from there. And try to minimize Vando and Cam together as much as you can. There's also a niche conversation to be had about like how much drop coverage should Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes be playing as opposed to like being higher up on screens. And okay, like that obviously does matter. It's not the number one thing.